aanmoedig.
Goedemiddag.
We are continuing with our presentations. I'm following my line of thought with regards to my presentations, where I am looking at this relationship that we need to build with Christ. This afternoon we are looking at the book of Luke chapter 10. Still in the book of Luke, but today we are looking at chapter 10. The section I am looking at is from verses 38 to the last one, verse 42. Now it happened as they went that he entered a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha welcomed him into her house. And she had a sister called Mary, who also sat at Jesus' feet and heard his word. But Martha was distracted with much serving, and she approached him and said, "Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? Therefore, tell her to help me." And Jesus answered and said to Martha, "Martha, Martha, you are worried and troubled about many things. But one thing is needed, and Mary has chosen that good part, which will not be taken away from her." May the good Lord bless the reading of his word now and forevermore. Amen. Amen. This is happening in a home that belonged to both Martha and Mary. It seems as though Martha was the eldest, because the Bible or this record tells us she is the one who welcomed Christ. Beverly was a servant in Jesus' time. This one was near Jerusalem, therefore a suburb of Jerusalem. Jesus with his disciples were being entertained at this home. As they were there, it looks like when I read the story, as soon as Jesus entered the house, he went about his business. What was his business? The one of instruction, the one of preaching. I imagine him taking a chair, pulling it and sitting and beginning to address. It is not clear from the record whether it was just Mary, Martha, and the disciples only, or also people from the village She sits there listening to the instruction. Verse 39 indicates that Martha as well was at some time at the feet of Jesus. Because there it says, she had a sister called Mary who also sat at Jesus' feet and heard his word. But verse 40 gives us something. Verse 40 says, Martha was distracted with much sin. And because of that, she decides to go and protest. She comes to Christ and says, look, I am busy trying to make sure things are fine. And let's please understand, Mother, because remember, this is not only Jesus, but also the disciples. And it suggests to me that they were not aware that he was going to be visiting that time, because it is only now that she is busy preparing. So maybe the visit caught them by surprise. So she is busy preparing, but at the same time, she is interested in what Jesus is saying and what Mary is receiving. So when she goes to Jesus, it is not only to say, no, come and help me out, but she is also saying, look, I am missing out on what you are saying. Tell my sister to come help so that we can finish early or quicker. Then I can also benefit from what you are saying. So that I don't miss out on what you are saying. And it will not only be me who is serving you. If she comes and helps me, you will then receive something that has been prepared by the both of us. But Jesus says to her, you are worried and troubled about many things. But Mother wanted to make sure, even though this was a visit that we did not know beforehand, she wanted to make sure she prepares the best for their friend. She prepares the best for Jesus. So she leaves and then she goes and she touches that, she prepares that. You know what it is. Fortunately, most people that are here are women. You know what it means and it is to prepare a meal to entertain a guest. When she protests, Mary decides not to answer because she was not talking to her. Though she was talking about her, she was addressing the master. So Mary decides to allow the master to respond, and then she was willing to abide with the award that will be awarded by the master. Then she listens to what Jesus would say after her sister had protested. Mary, maybe before I speak about Mary, let me continue and speak about Martha. Martha decides to open her house at the risk of peril. They are a suburb of Jerusalem, and many were not opening their houses to Jesus and disciples. They were not willing to entertain him, and she knew anything could happen for his name's sake, but she was willing to risk that. She was willing to allow Christ and his disciples into her home, no matter what that would bring to them. Now, most of us here are leaders working with ambassadors, isn't it? Are you willing to risk all for that one ambassador? No. Are you willing to be ridiculed because of that one ambassador? She was willing. Just to make sure that the master gets to be entertained in a proper manner. She was willing. Now when Mary is enjoying the instruction, yet she becomes bothered by that. and she says, no, this is not right. Let me try and correct it. But listen to the response Christ gives her. Mother, you are worried and troubled about many things. Verse 39 says she is distracted. Is it verse 39? Yes, verse 40. She is distracted with much serving. Then Christ, it does not say you are distracted with much serving. Christ says you are worried about many things. Because Christ observed she was there, touching us, doing that. Then he sees that a lot of things she is trying to achieve, and therefore she is not concentrating. As leaders, working with ambassadors, do we have a focus? Yeah. Or we are just haphazardly leading them? To such an extent that we don't even know them in person, let alone the name, but in knowing very well that this one, if this one does this, it is because this one is a stage 1 kind of a person. Last night's sermon. This one is a stage 2 kind of a person. Therefore, for me to be able to work with this particular ambassador, I need to do this and that and that. He says you are worried about many things. In other words, he was saying, stop that. And then he says, there is only one good thing that is needed. And Mary has chosen that good part. The good part was sitting at his feet. And many people have tended to say or distinguish Mother as a practical one and Mary as the spiritual one. However, it is not so. If you look at these verses, you will discover that, as I have indicated in verse 39, Mary also served. Because then it says, she has left me to serve alone. In other words, she started out, but she stopped. She left me to do this thing by myself now. Therefore, I am missing out on what you are busy telling and the others. I also want to hear that. But Mary quickly rushed back to sit at the feet of Jesus. Just like as scholars would sit at the feet of their tutors, listening to their lectures. As the Bible says, Paul sat at the feet of Gamaliel. That's where Mary went to sit, because she knew at the feet of Jesus there is forgiveness. At the feet of Jesus there is instruction. At the feet of Jesus there is comfort. At the feet of Jesus there is acceptance. She chose to go and sit there. I want us to notice something. Martha got distracted or was distracted by many things. We need not be distracted as we serve in the Lord's vineyard. In whatever sphere and whatever corner of the vineyard, you need to make sure that you are focused. How do you get to focus? When you know your spiritual gift, utilize your spiritual gift so that you do not compete with others. You are gifted in your own way. Do not want to be somebody else. Serve God. Minister unto Him the way He has gifted you. And you will not be distracted when you do that. You will not complain about how other people are fulfilling their ministry to the Master. You will not be bothered by that, because you will be fulfilling your own. And instead of us competing with one another, we will complement each other. Both of these women reveal something unique about spiritual gifts. which they were lovingly serving in their master. And when we follow their example, then we will also do that which is good in the eyes of the Lord. But what I want us to take note of is that we must not neglect the devotional part, sacrificing in the name of service. It is easy to organize for God at the expense of us making sure we spend time with His word, spend time on our knees. You know what? It is important to spend time at the feet of Jesus, because if we sit now at His feet, soon we will be able to sit with Him on His throne. But we must start by sitting at His feet now. We must start by doing that. It is not prudent to organize for God without agonizing with Him. Before we organize for God, before we organize saints, before we organize ambassadors for heaven, let's agonize with God first. Our relationship with Him should be the one that motivates us, so that because of that relationship with Him, because we have experienced Him, we will lead the ambassadors, we will lead whoever we come into contact with to have a special, unique relationship with the Father. Because we know the benefits of the relationship with the Father. You cannot give what you do not have. Remember, the people you work with, if you are a leader and you are here, not just an ambassador, your ambassadors will never spiritually rise above your spiritual level. They can come to your level, or they will be below your level. They can't rise above your level. So if you are a spiritual dwarf, they will be spiritual dwarfs as well, or they will die. But you will still be accountable to God for those that were under your leadership. So it is important to spend time with the Word, spend time in prayer, spend time making sure you receive the instruction and keep the connection with God, because that connection is the one that is going to help you do that which is expected of you, making sure that you shepherd those that are under your leadership. You would be able, because of your relationship with Him, because of you having received the instruction, you will have something to share with those under your leadership. You will be able to spend time and visit them wherever they are. Some of them are young professionals now. Some of them are still in high school. They are in education. You will have time to visit them where they are.
Your head is falling back.
And make a difference. Because of the instruction you receive, you will be a blessing to those that are under your leadership. So, what am I saying? I am saying let us balance the devotional life with the life of service. So that when we serve knowing very well that as we serve, we are serviced by the Master. Because when that happens, we will never lead astray those we lead. If you are here, you are an ambassador. You are participating in the club. I also am talking to you that you also need to balance your devotional life with what you are doing in the club, even if you are not the leader. It is easy to be busy doing lots and lots of things to the neglect of your devotional life. And for you to have a devotional life, you don't need an hour to do that. 10, 15 minutes can be meaningful and effective. When you sit down with your Bible, your notebook, your pen, and you select a spot where you will sit down, prayerfully read the Bible, and you jot down what God has told you or instructed you with when you were reading the Bible. 10, 15 minutes, you are done. Then you go and do whatever you need to do. So let's balance devotion and duty. And we learn that from both Mary and Martha. It is not that Martha did not sit at the feet. She did, but she got distracted. So we must be careful of distraction. Many things can distract us. Many things can distract us. So let's be careful. Let's not allow ourselves to be distracted. It's not that Mary did not serve and prepare for Jesus. She did. But she thought, let me spend more time listening to the instruction than trying to organize for the Master. And this is what Jesus says to Martha. She says, there is only one good thing, and your sister has chosen. Yes, sir. Sitting at the feet of the Master. Let me repeat what I said. If we sit at the feet of Jesus now, soon we will sit with him on his throne. God bless you.
Amen.